From Central Texas, it's the Best of the Outdoors podcast. I'm your host, Dustin Von Warnke, and thank you so much for either downloading or streaming this podcast. However you found us and however you're listening to us, thank you so much for taking the time to do so. We're really excited about today's show, where we will be talking about black guns, and one of our favorite sponsors of the Magnum Prowler TV show is Olympic Arms. And I know there are already a lot of podcasts and videos and articles and blogs and all kinds of different media out there about black rifles, especially the AR-15 platform. And what we wanted to do is talk about what we use in the field and what works best for us in the field. And our purpose with this show is never to, simply promote a product for the sake of promoting a product or a company or a service. Our goal is to show you what works well for us in the field and what we believe will work well for you in the field as well, whether you're target shooting, whether you're hunting, whether you're doing a 3-gun competition, or whatever you're doing in the outdoors. I'm really excited to be with Prowler Bill again, and we have great conversations on the phone. So this is a very exciting time for me, because anytime I get to talk guns with somebody, it's a blast. So thank you so much for tuning in, and here is my interview with Bill Henson.
I want to start off by saying that when I heard the name Olympic Arms, I remember back years and years and years ago, and I did not like Olympic Arms. I did not like their weapons. I just did not like the quality of the guns. But I met a guy at the SHOT Show in Vegas one year by the name of Brian Schutz. He is he's the owner. And I met Thomas Spithaler. I guess that's how you say his name. But Tom is he's a sales manager. And Mac and I was there, and we were looking at their rifles, the black rifle, and I said, man, these things have changed. Well, anyway, we ended up purchasing one, and just to try it out, and fell in love with it. Next thing we know, we got a call from Brian, and he said, I'm coming out with a new rifle. I'd like you guys to try it out. Okay, so he sent us 3 of them, and it was the 25 WSSM. It's called a UMAR Ultra Mag, and mine, the ones that we got, the serial number that Mac has is 0003. The serial number that I have is 0004, and it was a pretty new gun, to say the least.
Yeah.
And it shoots. And if you're familiar with it, it shoots a 25 caliber Winchester Super Short Mag. That's what WSSM stands for. And we fell in love with this gun. It's heavy enough that we can shoot deer or elk. Well, maybe a little light for elk, but it will do the job anyway. But especially for what we do is predator hunting. And we also do a lot of pig hunting and white-tailed deer and mule deer and things like that. I love my 25 WSSM. And I've shot, I don't know how many pigs with it. There's just no way I can count that. I didn't keep up with it. But I've shot 14 deer with it, white-tailed deer.
Wow.
Probably 40 or 50 coyotes, about 5 or 6 bobcats, and I have not had an animal even move out of its tracks. It usually just falls right where I shoot it. Now, I have missed one animal with it. I missed a white-tailed deer at about 600 yards.
Pretty far. Wow.
Yeah, well, it was a lot further than I thought it was. I was thinking it was about 400. And I was shooting on flat ground, but it wasn't the gun's fault. I can tell you that, because one of the things that we found out about this UMAR 25 WSSM is accuracy. Now, we have, ours have stainless steel fluted barrels on them, which I dearly love. And out of all of the rounds that we shot through it, I've had 0 hang-ups. Mac has had 1. And actually, it was not, I don't think it was the gun's fault. I think we got some ammunition that probably was the bullet was not seated well in it.
Right.
Because at the time, we weren't set up to reload the 25 WSSM. At this point, we are set up to do that. So we can reload our own, which is what we like to do because we know exactly. We have digital scales and reloading equipment, and we just like reloading our own. It's just something that we enjoy doing.
Sure. The other thing is, what is it ballistically similar to?
25-06.
Which is a great flat shooting rifle. If you know anything about the ballistics of the 25-06, it is, comparable to, a lot of folks prefer it because it shoots even flatter than a 270.
Correct. The trajectory is quite a bit better than the 270, in my opinion. Now, this is just my opinion. I own a 270, and I shoot it often, but not near as often as I shoot the 25. But that got us involved in Olympic Arms. And we got to meet the owner, which is Brian Schutz, and the sales marketing guy, Tom. And, I've met Nolan and Justin and Andy and Mike and all the guys at the SHOT Show. But one of the things that impressed us was the quality that these guns are now made at. It turned my whole thinking around about Olympic Arms. Now, we don't get paid to talk about Olympic Arms.
Right.
I've got one of their guns. They sent us one, and I've bought several since then. But one of the things that I do like about it is even though, a lot of people, when they see it, they see the black gun. They see an assault rifle and all this kind of stuff. And I did not like these guns because I had to carry one in the military and all that kind of stuff. But I fell in love with them now, and I would rather hunt with one of these AR-15 platform-style guns than any gun on the market. That's just me. And I never thought I'd hear myself say that, but I've shot one so much here lately, it's just like, well, it's got the adjustable stock, and you got all the stuff that you can add to it. And sometimes we hunt at night, and we can put lights on it. We can put cameras on it, and which is rather neat. But the quality that these guns are made and the precision that they're made at is impressive now. I'm talking about super impressive. One of their new guns is the 308-15. Now, that is a 308 caliber AR-15 style rifle. It's not an AR-10. It is an AR-15, and it takes a special clip to make it work. And you can take the 308 upper off and put a 223 or a 5.56 NATO upper on there, just probably less than a minute.
Wow.
30 seconds.
That's never really been done before, has it?
Not to my knowledge. I've heard some people have been trying to do it, but they haven't done it. But I actually own one of these now. I bought one, and I didn't know if I was going to like it or not, but I'm more of I like bigger calibers. Even though I shoot a lot of 223s, I do like shooting the 308s, the 25 WSSM, and the 300 Blackout. And they also have a rifle called the 300 Olympic Super Short Magnum.
Or 300 OSSM.
Yep, that's what it is. And all of these are fantastic guns. And one thing that I do like about the 300 OSSM is I can purchase the bullets loaded from Olympic Arms.
Right.
Because it is their caliber. They make it and they reload. I guess they do, but I don't guess that they do. I mean, they get someone to load them for them.
Right.
But that is a super sweet shooting gun. I like it actually as well as I do the 25 WSSM. Now, it doesn't have the same trajectory as the 25 because you're shooting a lot heavier bullet in a UMAR platform. And it's the difference between an AR-15 and a UMAR platform is the UMAR is beefed up a little bit. It's a little bit heavier because you're shooting a lot bigger rounds through it and a lot faster and a lot more kick, things like that. And they just call it the Ultra Mag. It's something that they come out with. And it's more along the lines of an AR-10, I guess. But I do love the UMARs.
Well, and also I want to say something about the 300 OSSM or 300 Olympic Super Short Magnum is that it is like shooting a 30-06 or a 300 Win Mag out of an AR-15 platform. That has never been done before. I've written about this on our article that I wrote about Olympic Arms on the Mac and Fowler website. And that's pretty impressive. Something like that's never really been done before in the industry, and they did it.
Well, that's the one that if I was going to hunt elk or mule deer or even moose, that's what I would be shooting. Caribou, I mean, this thing is made for your bigger animals. It's against the law to shoot one at a bear up in Alaska, like a brown bear or Kodiak or any of those. But you have to have a 338 or 375 H&H, I think, is the lightest thing that they'll allow you to hunt with up there. But for anything in the southern United States, the 300 OSSM is a perfect round, in my opinion. I love it. I dearly love shooting it. And it has the knockdown and kinetic energy of a 30-06. And I guess it's pretty close to a 300 Win Mag.
It's kind of in between from what I've read on the ballistics. It's between a 308, 30-06 and 300 Win Mag. But the other thing I wanted to mention is the UMAR also comes chambered in 22-250, which is one of my father-in-law's favorite calibers to hunt with. Great for predators, and he even takes neck shots at deer. With does and, doe patrol and that kind of stuff with the 22-250, and that's a fantastic flat shooting round.
Well, now, let me just throw another little thing in there. This 308-15, well, you can get a 22-250 upper to fit it too.
Oh, wow. Didn't know that. That's pretty cool.
That's right. You can also get, I'm not sure about the 25 WSSM or the 243 WSSM or the 223 WSSM. I'm not sure about those, but I guess I can call Tom and find out.
Right.
But if you want it, a good place to start going to their website, which is www.arms.com. And that is the website for Olympic Arms. Now, they have all kinds of other calibers, too. And that's one of the things that impressed me was you can get the 7.62 by 39. Great round. You can also get 9mm, 10mm, 40 S&W, 45 ACP. I know they make the 204 Ruger, the 300 Blackout, and the 6.8 Remington SPC. I do know that they make all of those. And that's a lot of different calibers. And let's say you got one of the things that I really like is I shoot a lot of 45 caliber ACP pistols. And so what better way to have an AR-15 than to have one that'll shoot the 45 ACP? And it is a blast to shoot. And the accuracy is I'm not a real good pistol shot in a Mac. He's a pistol shooter. But I can shoot that 45 ACP in that AR-15 platform, and it is amazing how accurate that it really is.
That's the inherent accuracy of the AR-15 is one thing a lot of people didn't really believe in. And I really didn't believe much in owning one until I owned an Olympic Arms, and I owned a 223, which is kind of one of the base models of the 223 cartridge platform. And I'm grouping half-inch to an inch at 100 yards without breaking a sweat. The gun is more accurate than I am. And I've done a couple of modifications to mine. I've talked about that on video a little bit, but they're just crazy accurate for AR-15 platform rifles.
Well, my Plinkster, when I got it, I was shooting 1 to 1 1/4 inch groups out of the box, and I did not request a real good trigger. And so I called and got a real good trigger and got it shipped in here, changed it out, and I immediately went to 3/4 to a 1/2 inch groups at 100 yards with the Plinkster. And that's the only thing I changed was the trigger.
I've got a video on my website at dustinsprojects.com, as well as on the Mac Prowler website, of me taking a hog and a spike buck at under 100 yards, but both neck shots, and both went down like a ton of bricks. And that's a testament to the accuracy of that rifle. I mean, I was really impressed when I took it out hunting, for sure. And I know you guys have been too.
Well, yeah, I was very impressed when I carried the 223 with me, and we're hunting on camera. I've taken coyotes out to 250 yards with it. Now, I have one that I actually shot, and I got about 5 witnesses, but it's not on camera. It's 425 yards.
Wow.
But I was sitting on top of the hill, and he was out in the flat out from me, and I was laying down with practically shooting off a sandbag. But, there was about a 5-mile-an-hour crosswind, and which at that distance it is 1 minute of angle.
Right.
And the scope that we're using had the minute angle dots on it. And when I pulled the trigger, he was sitting down facing me and popped him right in the center of the chest. And
wow.
So the gun is accurate. Now, I have not actually shot targets at 400 yards with it, but I have shot them out to 300 yards. And I do have several groups at 300 yards that range between 2 and 2.5 inches. And which to me is very impressive. And I'm not a target shooter. Now, my little brother and Mac, they can shoot long distances. And my little brother and his son have got into it big time. They spend $20,000-$30,000 on the gun. My little brother starts shooting at 750 yards, and he goes all the way up to, 1,250 or something like that. We're there at his house. And but that's another story. But as far as a hunting, and if I can't use a gun hunting, I don't want it. I'll be honest with you, because I love to hunt.
Same here. And
that's what I use these guns for, all of them. And I've got a 25 WSSM. I got the 308-15-15. I got the Plinkster and the 45 ACP and 22-250. What else have I got? I forgot now. Oh, the 40 S&W. I've got one of those. I do not have a 243 WSSM or a 223. I got the 300 OSSM, which I dearly love for hunting deer and things like that. And they've got some LE models, AR-15 LE, and they're like little short carbines. And I'll just mention those. That's just some of the things that they offer. But as far as, I've never seen a company put out this many different caliber weapons. And that's another thing that impressed me, too. In other words, I'm sold out on Olympic Arms. Now, I've got the Bushmasters, and I've got the, I can't even think now, DPMS.
Right.
And I've got the Smith & Wesson. I've got way too many guns, but of all of these, I like shooting the Olympic Arms much better, and they're much more accurate too. And that's
right.
What I'm all about is accuracy. If I can't hit what I'm aiming at, I don't need a gun.
Right. And remember, they're not paying us to say this. This is just what we think from our show and what we think, from owning the firearms, the way that they are. Yeah. They're just incredible guns. And, we just kind of wanted to give them a shout out, but also wanted to, talk about all the versatile calibers and all the versatile, platforms that they have for different calibers.
Very much so. And this new one they come out with, the 308-15, I love it. Right out of the box, as soon as I put the scope on it, Mac's got he's got a unique way of lining up the scope.
Yeah, he does. He told me that before. It's an old secret.
Yeah, it is a secret now, but he set the scope, we put it on the gun, and the first shot was on the paper at 25 yards. And it was shooting a half-inch low and a half-inch to the right. We adjusted the scope, fired one more time, and hit the bullseye. Then we started shooting at 100 yards. We shot 3 shots at 100 yards. All 3 of them were in the 1-inch bullseye.
Wow.
And I had about a 3/4-inch group is what it was out of that 308. And that's when I said, I can shoot this gun. Now the difference, I need to make this statement about the 308-15. You have to have a special clip to hold the 308 rounds, and those clips are about $60 a piece.
Right.
That's the negative. The positive is it's a highly accurate gun. It's the biggest thing I've ever seen. Yeah, it's cool. Now, the one that I don't have that's going to be my next purchase is going to be the 22 long rifle. And I've got a 22 long rifle and an AR-15 platform at the SIG, but I'm really looking forward to getting the Olympic Arms 22 long rifle, because if it's as accurate as the rest of them, oh, man, it'll be awesome.
Be a lot of fun at the range.
Oh, yeah. I'll burn up a lot of ammo with it.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that I would like to state is the different, I guess you'd call it, names that they have for the different style guns. Like the 308-15, it's called the MRP 308-15. Then you have the UMAR, which is Ultimate Magnum Rifles. That's what that stands for. Then they have the Game Stalker rifles, the Ultra Match barrels, and these are bull barrels that can go on any of the rifles that they make. I would assume that's except for the pistol calibers.
Right.
They have the WSSM K8 Magnum rifles, and then, of course, the general AR-15 rifles. They have pistol caliber carbines, which they call the K9, K10, K40, and the K45. K9 is a 9mm, K10 is a 10mm, and the K40 is a 40 Smith & Wesson, and, of course, the 45 ACP. They even have Glock lower models. The 9mm and the 40 S&W. They've got the 7.62 by 39, the Russian caliber. Now that's a popular round, and have you ever heard of anyone having that particular caliber in an AR style rifle?
I think a couple of other manufacturers might, but it is definitely not as popular as a lot of the more popular calibers. But I've hunted with that particular round before, and it's very similar to, if you shoot a heavier grain bullet in it, like a, 120 to 125 to 150 grain. I prefer the 153 grain. I think it is 156 grain Wolf soft point. That's what I have. And it's like shooting a 30-30. It moves slow, and it hits like a ton of hammers. It's a great round for short range, under 100 yards shooting.
Well, that's one of the rounds that I don't know anything about, really. I just know that I've got some friends that shoot them. And of course, I live in Northeast Texas, and this is a Piney Woods area, and it's usually real thick. We do have some open range shooting too, but It's usually on ranches and farms, but mainly farms. But that's the reason I like the 25 WSSM, because it's a flat shooting gun. And another thing that they model that they make is a 300 Blackout. Now it's a reasonably priced weapon.
Right.
You also have the economy models, the Plinker, that's the one that I like to shoot. Now I like it because it's lightweight. And Mac and I, when we're predator hunting, we like to cover as far as we can walk. But I mean, it's nothing uncommon for us to cover 2 or 3 miles at a time.
Right.
And that's on foot. And I'm getting too old to be doing that and keep up. So, but they got the Predator style, and they got them in camo and black, and they also have the AR-15 pistols and the Wolverine. I have 2 of the Wolverines. I have a pink one and a black one, and the Wolverine is nothing more than a 22 pistol, and they run about they're almost $300, but comparably priced, they are priced like with all other AR style 15s. You can get them from $750 up to $1,600-$1,700, depending on what you want to put on them.
Yes, but as far as a baseline, if you go with the Plinker,
Yep.
Baseline 223, you're getting a very accurate weapon for, not a lot of money compared to what you can spend on a regular AR-15. It's kind of their budget model, but it is an incredible gun in my estimation, because I own one.
Well, the retail price on I shoot the Plinker Plus. It's got a 20-inch barrel on it, and I think it's like $890, $880, but you can get the compact for $650 or somewhere along in there, and that's reasonably priced for the quality of the gun that you're getting.
Yeah, that's a great price for sure.
I know that I shot, like I say, I've got just about every manufacturer that makes an AR-15. I don't have them all, but I've got 6 or 7 different, manufacturers, from the DPMS to Remington to Smith & Wesson and all those, and I like the Olympic Arms better. That's just me, but I like them better because I can get so many different calibers that I can shoot in there, and the quality and manufacturing of the guns is just impeccable.
Right.
And I wouldn't have said that. Matter of fact, whenever he asked us about shooting the Olympic Arms, if we shot him, I told him I didn't like Olympic Arms. And I'm talking about Brian Schutz, the owner of Olympic Arms. And he said, "You don't like them?" I said, "Nope, I don't like them." Well, he changed my mind.
Yeah.
and I've become a fan of Olympic Arms now.
Yeah, you just give them a chance.
Yeah. And we give anybody a chance that contacts us and wants to try their product. And I have learned not to say that anymore. what I told him, because I had to eat crow, and I told him I did. He actually came down and spent a week with Mac and Prowler last year, and we did some predator hunting, but it was like 100-something degrees, so we ended up doing bow fishing.
That's funny. He ended up, we got a video on our website of him under the bow fishing, or gar tails, with him shooting a long-nosed gar, right?
Yeah, needle-nosed gar.
Needle-nosed gar, yeah.
And it was a nice gar, and it was actually the first one he'd ever seen, because Brian said, "Well, I've never seen a gar," because he had heard Mac and I talking about it, and he said, "I've never seen a bullfrog, I've never seen an alligator, I've never seen an armadillo." Well, he got to see all 4 while he was here, so he was kind of happy. But there is one thing that he did learn. Yeah, there's one thing he did learn from where he's at. They do a lot of saltwater fishing and things like that, and when they grab a fish up out of the saltwater, they hold him up against their body to stabilize it so they can take the picture. Well, we took a picture of him, and he shot this big gar. And when he held it up, he just put it up against him, and it's 100-something degrees, and if anybody knows anything about gar fishing, their slime stinks like all get out, especially after it's been out in the sun for about 20 or 30 minutes. And it was not long. He was wanting to get rid of those clothes.
Well, yeah.
But we had a ball with him. Heck of a nice guy. Just extremely cordial, and has worked with Mack and Prowler, and we've worked with him on like the 25 WSSM. We feel privileged to have had the honor to be able to do that. And it's just one thing after another, and that's one of the reasons that we like. That's just one of the many reasons that we like Olympic Arms. You got any questions or anything you need to discuss on this?
No, I think we've covered it well. If you don't know what the 300 blackout is, I just wanted to add a little caveat to that. It's basically a 223 case that has been necked out to a 30 caliber round and shoots very similar to a 7.62 by 39. But you can shoot it suppressed. You can do so many cool things with it because it shoots subsonic if you get the loading and everything right. And it's just a really neat round. So 300 blackout's relatively new on the black rifle scene. Last couple of 3 years, I guess, it's relatively new. And Olympic Arms carries it.
Well, we actually have a hunt with a guy who's shooting a 300 blackout. He's from Hope, Arkansas. And one of the things is I was expecting, I'd never seen one before, never shot one. And we called this coyote in. He came in to about 15 yards. And I was expecting a loud boom, and it just went, that's it.
Not very loud, yeah.
Yeah, and the coyote bit the dust. That's also on our website, that video. I think it is. But
no, if not, we'll get it added.
Yeah, we got a lot of stuff we got to add, a lot of hunts we got to add to the site, but we're fixing to load it down with videos, and when we get that done, I don't know what we're going to do then. Go to some other platform, I guess. Cause
we're having fun. So olyarms.com.
Yeah.
For Olympic Arms, and definitely check them out.
Yep, and if you want to call and place an order or just ask questions, you can give them a call. And I highly recommend the 308-15, the MPR 308-15. It shoots 308 Winchester and 5.56 by 45. And I love mine. I just dearly love it. Because I like shooting bigger calibers. Me and Mac, we definitely agree on that. Because when they first come out with the 223 years and years ago, I had a lot of animals. I've seen a lot of animals run off with those, being shot by those. And I think all it was the bullets problem.
Right.
And I think that's been solved now. But, bullet problems is something that every new gun has to tackle, as we know by shooting the Air Force now.
Right.
We're working on with Air Force on getting some new bullets cast and made and tested and all this kind of stuff for the air guns, air rifles.
Right.
All right. Well, if you don't have anything else, I guess we can close this thing out.
Okay.
And if you got any questions, feel free to email us or go to our website, Mac, M-A-C, and A-N-D, Prowler, Prowler.com. And you can contact Mac or Prowler or Dustin, either one. And Dustin, your email address is dustin@macandprowler.com.
Yes, sir.
And mine is Prowler@macandprowler.com. Now, Mac's is different. He started off with macandprowler.yahoo.com years ago, and when we first started talking about this, and then he stuck with that all the time. So
right, so that's how to get in touch with him.
Yeah, and feel free to drop us a line, an email. What would you like to hear on here? What kind of subject would you like for us to cover? If we know anything about it, we don't mind talking about it. If we don't know about it, we don't mind learning.
Right.
And that's one of the things that we love to do, and that's research and development. and Banker Prowler and all of us here, Dustin, he's probably the best I've ever seen at research.
Well, thank you.
I love it. And I ain't saying it because you're sitting there either. You know me better than that.
Yes, sir. I understand.
But I enjoyed it, so let's do this again soon.
Absolutely, and thank you so much for your time on the phone today.
I am more than willing to be able to do this again.
All right.
I enjoy
awesome.
it. We'll
That's
talk
great.
to you later. Guys
right.
and gals that's listening, we'd like to go hunting. Give us a call or drop us a line, and let's get together and do some hunting.
All right.
We'll bring out some of these new guns that's out on the market.
That's right. All right. Take care, Bill.
Well, isn't it wonderful to talk to somebody at length about an issue that you are passionate about and you both share a common interest in? And that's what Bill and I share with talking about AR platform rifles or pistols or air guns or anything that we talk about on this show. I could just talk for hours on it. I just love this industry and love the different products that are coming out. And as I said before on the beginning of the show, one of the reasons why we bring a company to light like Olympic Arms is because we have had success with that company, and we know that you will have success in the field with them as well. We like it that much. We want to share it with you. And that's the whole purpose of what we're doing with the Best of the Outdoors, is bringing you products, services, people that can help you be better at what you do in the outdoors. And that's the whole goal of this show. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to our show. Please rate this podcast on whatever medium you found us on. And please share this with somebody else if you like what you hear. And thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for subscribing and watching and reading and checking out all of our content. And have an awesome day in the outdoors.